right, Rick, thank you so very much. A tornado warning, a very small one, has just popped out immediately north of the metro and east of Salem in far east central Washington County of Indiana. Tornado warning in effect, and this goes until 10:30 or the bottom of the hour, really for about the next 12 minutes or so. There's a little bit of rotation showing up in this particular cell. As a matter of fact, let me show you what's going on here. I'm going to shut off the warning. We'll go over to the reflectivity or the rainfall pattern. And again, it's this cell right here. And if you look real close, you can see maybe what could be a little bit of hail due east of Salem. But notice how this red area kind of wraps up right there. That implies rotation on the radar scan. And as we go over to our velocity display, take a look at what's going on. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of zoom in here for you. You can see some greens budding up very close to the red areas. So you have red, which are winds blowing towards the top portion of your TV set, close to Bunker Hill and Bartle. And then just on the other side, green, which imply winds blowing in the opposite direction. And notice how they're right on top of one another. So that's why the tornado warning has been issued. Now, we've seen these little spin-ups on occasion ever since southwestern Indiana back into southern Illinois. There's just a lot of wind energy in the atmosphere right now. And just to be safe rather than sorry, that's why the National Weather Service did indeed issue this warning. You can even see how that little, what was a hook echo, has really kind of dissipated somewhat, and that's what happens in this type of an event. They can be very quick hitting. You can get a brief spin up, and even if it's not a spin up, you can get some wind damage whenever you have rotation on the radar scan. Again, this is it right here. So let's do some tracking here for you. The storm is moving off towards the east-northeast pretty quickly at speeds of around 30 miles an hour. Let's track the most dangerous part of that cell. It's going to carry it on into sections of Scott County and perhaps northern portions of Clark County as well. And these are some of the communities that will be impacted not only by what could be a damaging wind gust and maybe a quick spin up, but also a lot of heavy rainfall, and there could be some ponding on the roadways as well. We're talking Leota right now, Scottsburg here at the bottom of the hour, 1029, Vienna 1031, Underwood right around 1033. You folks in Underwood have already seen some pretty nasty weather just over the past few minutes. Looks like a cell that had some hail in it went over your area. Now that's a little bit farther off to the east. And then the Blotcher area right around 1042. This is when some of the heavier weather will be impacting those communities. So if those communities sound familiar to you, you live around those areas, just be on the lookout. And if you're in the tornado warn zone, that is far east central portions of Washington County, get to your basement immediately. If you don't have a basement, lowest level of your house in an interior room, and just stay there until the danger has passed. I mean, we're 9 minutes away from expiration time, and again, it kind of looks like the rotation has weakened anyway just a little bit. All right, let's pull back out here and take a look at the entire viewing area. So here's Louisville. There's E-Town and Bardstown. Nothing happening from the metro and points off to the south. We do have some showers, maybe a few storms starting to bubble up just off to the west of the Litchfield area. Not severe, but they do have some heavy rain associated with them, and they are tracking off towards the east, really up the Western Kentucky Parkway. We'll watch those very closely because the atmosphere, the farther south you go, still a little bit unstable, and we have a little bit more wind energy as well. Really of biggest concern is what's happening from Jefferson County, Scott County, on into Washington County. It's this cluster of showers and storms that continues to maintain. And look real close. There's even a possibility of a little bit of hail. Check out Saluda right here. This is south and southwestern portions of Jefferson County, Indiana, getting close to Hanover, for example. Notice that black core right there, just off to the east-northeast of Lexington. That's where there could be some hail showing up in that particular cell. And sure enough, on our radar scan, our hail tracker is showing that, and this is moving off towards the northeast. If it maintains, if it holds together, continues with its current intensity, if you will, we could be looking at some hail heading towards Hanover and maybe even Madison, just across the river in northern Trimble County. We'll have to be on the lookout as well. Right around the Milton area, for example, there could be some hail headed your way if this cell does not weaken. All right, back to the tornado warning, though. Let's put the warnings back on here. Here you can see it. It's a very small geographical area, southeastern portions of Washington County, Indiana, tornado warning in effect. Now, again, this does not include you folks in the Salem area, okay? It just includes this small area there of southeastern Washington County. And in this zone, this warning goes until 10:30 Eastern Daylight Time. And again, let's go ahead and put on the velocity here and see what's going on with that. Let me take that off and see what our spin is looking like now on the radar scan. We still have some broad spin. Again, red, these are the winds that are actually blowing towards the top portion of your TV set. So right there against that right there. So it's this zone of far, far eastern sections, southeastern sections of Washington County, a rural area that we have to be on the lookout for. Maybe some wind damage, but also a potential tornado spin-up real quick. I mean, the atmosphere has a lot of wind energy, not a lot of instability, and that's why we're not seeing a ton of warnings out there across the region on this Friday evening, but some isolated, quick-hitting severe storms, certainly a possibility the next hour or two, and that is what is going on here. Right now, it looks to be on the Washington-Clark County line. This is off to the west of Henryville, and so far from what I've seen, just radar-based. We haven't had any confirmed touchdowns. This is all radar indicated, and we've got of course, our weather watchers out. We're making calls to law enforcement officials, and so far, so good. We don't have any confirmed touchdowns. I'm just going to walk out of the picture here. I'm going to go back to our home screen there, the viewing area. I'm going to walk out of the picture and check out some of the chat rooms, see what's going on here as far as the latest information that pertains to this particular warning. Again, tornado warning in effect, southeastern portions, far southeastern portions of Washington County and Indiana. This goes until the bottom of the hour, about the next 5 minutes or so. It's a storm that is indeed capable of producing some nasty weather, some wind damage certainly, and maybe even a quick tornado spin up. And it looks like it's starting to move out of southeastern portions of Washington County, right towards southern Scott and far northern Clark County as well. This is all north of the metro. This is not impacting Louisville whatsoever. A little bit later on, the metro area will indeed get into some showers and even a few storms. And by the way, we were talking about this earlier, not being a huge severe weather outbreak. I still expect that. Just some isolated strong storms around the area, some which could produce some wind damage, have some strong winds. And really, that's what's going on. Now, you got to look real close here. I'm going to actually draw on this so you can see what I'm talking about. But it looks like we have a bit of a hook echo trying to form with this cell. Notice how this red zone is kind of wrapping back around itself, kind of just like that. That implies rotation. All right, so the rotation looks to be on the Scott, Clark, Washington County convergence there of the county lines and moving off towards the east and northeast. I'll take away that pencil mark. We're going to go back to the rotation here for you, the base velocity. And yeah, it is right there. It is moving in an east-northeasterly direction. Let's track that. It is moving at about 30 miles per hour or so. And we're going to track the most dangerous part of this cell. That is the rotation. That's where there could be some wind damage or even a quick spin-up. Nonetheless, it is moving just like this at speeds of around 30 miles per hour. So if you're in the path of this, now keep in mind, no warning in effect for northern Clark County or southern Scott County, but the storm is moving in your direction. It is still rotating. So just to be safe, if you're in these areas, close to these communities, I'm going to call out, get to your basement and stay there. Get to your tornado warning shelter area. No basement, that's fine. Lowest level of your house, an interior room, put as many walls between you and the outside, just in case there could be some debris flying around, and you want to help stop that so it doesn't hit you. It's a known fact when you have wind damage storms that are producing wind damage or even tornadoes, it's because of debris flying around and debris hits you. So put as many walls between you and the outside. There's the track moving across northern Clark County, southern Scott County, Henryville, 1034, Otisco, right around 1045, Marysville, 1048, the Nab area, the Lexington area, about 10 minutes before 11 o'clock tonight. This potential rotation could be impacting you. Again, the good news to report, no confirmed touchdowns, no funnel cloud sightings, but some fairly decent rotation showing up on the radar scan. Looks like more of a shear axis to me than anything. I don't see a tight tornado circulation at this time. But hey, when you have rotation as broad as it is and all the wind energy that we have in the atmosphere tonight, you can still get some straight line wind damage as well. So we'll have to watch for that going forward, of course, the next 15 to 20 minutes or so. All right, let's go back to our radar here. We'll put on the reflectivity or the rainfall pattern, and let's pull out and take a look at the entire viewing area. So here's what we got going on. We have one warning in effect, and that is that tornado warning for southeastern portions of Washington County in Indiana until 10:30, about the next minute or so. We still have a couple of strong cells, though, a little bit farther off to the northeast of the Warren storm, and especially here in Jefferson County, Indiana. So if you're watching from Madison, Hanover, and points off to the north, you're getting hammered, as you know. No warnings in effect for you, but a possibility of some hail in and close to your region. Also, very heavy rainfall moving into northern portions of Harrison County in Indiana, north of I-64, this too tracking off to the east-northeast. And keep in mind, you remember, if you're watching from Louisville, when those showers moved through right around dinner time, it was pouring. I mean, there was ponding going on just from that short period of time when the rain was falling. Well, this rain is coming down just as heavy, but for a longer period of time. So these areas of Washington County, northern Harrison, Scott, Jefferson County, Indiana, could be looking at a little bit of ponding and maybe even some localized flash flooding. So keep that in mind too. Just let these things move on through, and they will be doing so over the next few hours. Everything will calm down a little bit later on tonight. Once again, not much happening in the metro area at this time. Everything is off to the north or even off towards the southwest, right around Litchfield. No warns storms down in Kentucky at this time, just some locally heavy rainfall from Litchfield down to near Caneyville. And this, too, is traveling the Western Kentucky Parkway and will move towards southern Hardin County in relatively short order. All right, the tornado warning has been canceled. It has expired. I'm going to walk out of the picture here for just a second, check the chat rooms once again before I get you back to regular programming. And yeah, even the National Weather Service is now agreeing that there is still some rotation there, but it is broad. It does not appear to be producing anything tornadic at this time. We'll watch it close as it moves across portions of Scott County, far northern Clark County. We'll also watch the cell up here in Jefferson County, Indiana, for any intensification and perhaps a little bit of hail. And again, folks, if you're watching from the metro or point south, no warnings in effect. All the bigger storms right now anyway off to the north of the metro area. We'll definitely keep you posted through the evening. Don't forget, we'll have the very latest news, weather, and sports coming up at 11 o'clock on WLKY, and I'll keep you posted on all the social platforms as well. Let's get you back to programming.